Hi guys, how are you? I recently received an email, and I get a lot of these emails. So I've received this email from a gentleman. He says he found my details through YouTube, and he's waiting for his student visa to come through, and he hasn't got any information. His agent is not providing him with any information, and he's totally confused. Should he trust his agent or not? So we come across a lot of these sorts of emails. Now, what I wanted to do is just give you a little bit of an outline of probably why this is happening, okay? Now, first of all, we have to have a look at the two different types of agents there are. So there's an education agent and then there's a migration agent, okay? Now, if you think of the two, this is the way I think of them, is you have an education agent, which is more like a car salesman, and then you have a migration agent, which is more like a legal professional, okay? So they're two completely different services. Now, the thing is, why is he confused? Well, most of the reason is his education agent probably doesn't have an idea about the process or how visas work or how the immigration department works or anything like that. So really, I don't think he's getting any information from his education agent because the education agent doesn't know themselves. So that's really the difference that you get from an education agent versus a migration agent is the level of advice you can receive, and also the expertise in visa processes and understanding visa pathways and all of those sorts of things. So if we have a look at education agents and if we compare the two, okay? So number one, education agents are very lightly regulated, okay? So they don't have any rules. Especially if they're overseas, they can say whatever they want and there will be no consequences, except for their client, of course. The second point is they're not allowed to give immigration advice. In Australia, it is illegal for education agents to give you immigration advice. They can get fined up to $6,000 or in some cases 10 years in jail. So there are a massive consequences for people who are not registered migration agents giving immigration advice. Okay, the third thing is that often you'll find that education agents are either salespeople or international students themselves. So as international students, the one advantage that they have is they can speak the language of, and they have a network of people that they can speak to and encourage. So really that's the benefit that they have. And often they're incentivized like a salesperson, okay? So they're looking, the more sales that they get, the more bonuses they get. The more they put them into a particular course, the more bonuses they get. So really it is a sales position. Now, if we look at migration agents, we're more of legal professionals, okay? We're registered with the Migration Agents Registration Authority in Australia, and we have a lot of rules and regulations and a code of conduct of professionalism that we have to abide by. If we do not abide by those, then we can get deregistered and we are no longer allowed to provide any immigration advice, which is really our bread and butter. So each agent is individually regulated. It's not regulated by a company. It's each person has to have their certification. So the second thing about migration agents is we are personally liable if we give incorrect advice in some circumstances. So really we have to be careful and we have to be very aware of what information that we provide our clients. The third thing is migration agents must have studied migration law at some stage or some kind of law. So some lawyers are also provide immigration advice, but migration agents need to have studied law, and most of them would have studied migration law. The other thing, the fourth thing about migration agents is we're not really sales professionals. First and foremost, we're legal professionals. So the thing is that what we need to do is provide you with legal advice which is correct. So at the moment, the reason why I brought this up as well is there's a parliamentary inquiry in Australia. So the government of Australia is having a look at the concerns with the international education industry. And they've found there's a lot of concerns with unregistered immigration agents taking advantage of not only Australians but also international students as well. They find that there's been a lot of complaints where education agents have been providing false and misleading advice. They enroll a student with one course, but they actually put them in a totally separate course. They accept tuition fees before they've actually signed the agreement with the school. And also they fail in some, which is the worst case scenario, is they fail to pass on these fees to the schools. Please do not pay your education agent directly. Always pay the school directly. Don't pay the education agent, please, okay? So the thing is that the things have changed in the past couple of years where migration agents are able to provide student services, and because all of the applications are done online now. So the thing is that we can do it from Australia, or we can do it from wherever we are in the world. We can actually enrol you in a course, and we can actually do your visa as well. So you don't have to be you don't have to send in papers to your consulate or do anything like that. That's a thing of the past. Everything is done online now. So what do I recommend? Okay. The one thing that is always going to protect you is always get any advice or any information on email. Okay, so get it written down and get proof of it. Okay, it's really important. Now the thing is that if you want to understand if this agent is the right one for you, you can ask them, are you legally allowed to provide me with advice in regard to Australian visas? Where are you registered? Are you an international student? Because often they are. Have you ever been to Australia? The thing is that once you get into an agreement or you start the process of enrolling in school and things like that, really, if you're not with a migration agent, it's really a situation of buyer beware. So whatever happens, though the consequences of going with that person, eventually they will come back to you. The thing is that the immigration department in Australia doesn't really, if you had a bad agent or something like that, the immigration department will not care. That's not an excuse for the immigration department. What they will do is they'll come back to you, and it's important that the information that you've provided them is all good. Really, with registered migration agents, we're actually allowed to be able to complete the visa applications for you. We know what we're doing, and we know the visa pathways, the courses you should be enrolling if you want to go further, or the other things that you need to. So I also get these types of emails. If we just have a look, this is actually from an education agent that I also received recently. He said, "Oh, hi Nicholas, how are you?" He's actually a student, and he says, "Look, he's now working as an education agent. He's get a lot of people asking him about permanent residency and pathways and what they should study and things like that. But he's come to realise that he doesn't know how it works. It's complicated. It is. You're not only dealing with the immigration department, you're dealing with future visas, you're dealing with how much experience you have, you're dealing with the associations that manage your occupation, you're dealing with a vast array of different things. So he's asking me for information and he's saying, look, can you write me up a quick sheet so I can help these people that I can give them, or can I refer people to you so that I'll pay you? So the thing is that this is the nature of education agents. They really don't have a good understanding of immigration law in Australia. A lot of them are international students or salespeople, and the quality of advice that you're going to get from an education agent is most of the time it is going to be poor. Okay, So that's one of the main points that I want to get to. I hope I've been able to help some of you in kind of making a decision in regards to looking at your education agent with a little bit more of a magnifying glass. So hope this helps. If you do require some student services, we're obviously, we do provide those services. We can enrol you in courses and also process your visas. In some circumstances, we actually do it for free as well. Okay, so thank you for watching the video. Hope the information helps, and I'll see you next time. Bye.